Okay, Mayor and members of the council, the meeting is now being live streamed.
Thank you, Madam City Clerk. I'm going to be calling the meeting to order. Good evening and welcome to the October 13, 2025, 6 p.m. regular joint meeting of the Bell Gardens City Council and successor agency to the Community Development Commission. The meeting will now come to order at 6:12. All right. Members of the public may view and listen to the meeting live online through the city's website as noted on the agenda. Conflict of interest or recusal. If any of the members should have a conflict of interest, please announce any item you are recusing from due to a conflict of interest prior to the meeting being heard. And now moving into the invocation and Pledge of Allegiance. Tonight's invocation will be given by Minister Daniel Anguiano and the Pledge of Allegiance by Cameron Vargas from Girl Scout Troop 2543.
Thank you, Mayor and council members. Let us stand to our feet and bow our heads as we come before God. Heavenly Father, I just want to thank you for giving us this wonderful opportunity to gather in this city council meeting, Lord. And I just pray for your guidance and I pray for your blessing. And as you gave a word to Prophet Jeremiah, your word says, "For I know the plans I know the plans, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." And I pray this over our city and over our nation in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Face the flag. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may now be seated.
Thank you. Do you have the Okay, City Clerk, please call roll of the members of the City Council and successor agency.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Members of the council and successor agency, Chavez.
Present.
Councilwoman Guillen.
Present.
Councilwoman Sanchez.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem de la Rosa.
Present.
And Mayor Barcena.
Present. We'll now move to presentations, and I'm going to change the order of things here just so that we can have a better flow. So I want to get started with if it's okay with staff and the rest of the council, get started with the National Code Enforcement Appreciation Week proclamation, and that will be done by Councilmember De Leon Sanchez.
Thank you, Mayor. In honor of Code Enforcement Officer Appreciation, whereas the state of California has proclaimed the second week of October as Code Enforcement Officer Appreciation Week, and whereas code enforcement officers provide for the safety, health, and welfare of citizens in Bell Gardens through the enforcement of local, state, and federal laws and ordinances dealing with various issues of building, zoning, housing, animal control, environmental, health, and life safety. And whereas in the role of many code enforcement officers have expanded in recent years with increasing relying on expertise of training of code enforcement officers in their community. And whereas code enforcement officers have a highly visible role in the city and regularly interact with public, local, regional, state, and federal officials in their capacity as code enforcement officers. Whereas the City of Bell Gardens wants to recognize and honor the code enforcement officers that serve the community and acknowledge their role in improving quality of life within our community. Now, therefore, it be resolved that Marco Barcena, Mayor of Bell Gardens, along with the Bell Gardens City Council, hereby proclaim the second week of October 2025 and annually thereafter as Code Enforcement Officer Appreciation Week in Bell Gardens, and encourage residents to join in recognizing and expressing their appreciation for the dedication and service by the individuals who serve as our code enforcement officers. Proclaim this 13th day of October 2025, signed by the mayor and the city council. And here's the proclamation, and then ask them to come up.
Thank you, council member. If you guys would like to come up, we'd love to hear some words, anything you'd like to say.
Yes, thank you, Mayor, and thank you, council members. We're honored by the proclamation. I've only been a part of the code enforcement team for about maybe 2 months or less than that. So with that, I want to give a shout out to the core part of our code enforcement team. That's Luis Legaspi, Robert Ramirez, and Sophia Lu, who's actually with us here today. I can attest to the hard work that they put in, day out, especially when it comes to the level of customer service that they try to put into that. With that, I also like to thank our community development department that assists with taking complaints and trying to rectify these code enforcements through high level customer service with dealing with our public and our residents. And with that, I also like to thank our city clerk that also fields a lot of these complaints and then also satisfying these code cases. So with that, thank you again.
Thank you so much. And I want to open it up to my colleagues in case anyone has any comments.
Just like the proclamation says, not only do you deal with residents, but you deal with, regional, federal, different types of officials, and you guys are constantly interacting. And so I just want to thank you for the level of service that you provide, not only our community, but beyond, and for all your hard work. Thank you so much.
Just want to highlight our gratefulness and thank you. Thank you, Sophia. We always see you around. Thank you so much.
Thank you again so much for your service and helping our residents and in improving the quality of life in our city. Thank you so much for all the hard work.
Yeah, for my comments, code enforcement is not easy, right? I'll begin by saying that, but I truly appreciate the matter of response and truly the incredible customer service that you provide to our residents. So again, just want to say thank you and much well-deserved proclamation. Thank you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Thank you, Mayor. If I can just say a couple words from the city manager's perspective, staff perspective, our code enforcement officers have some of the more difficult customer service jobs in the city of Bell Gardens. A lot of the calls that we're responding to are complaints between neighbors, maybe even between families, and some of the more difficult situations. They're obviously unarmed officers of the city. And I think the council here probably recognizes you don't hear a lot of complaints, maybe almost any complaints from our code enforcement officers or for activities that they conduct. And that's because they do it professionally, with a service mind, with intention of service-minded for the residents and for the businesses in the city of Bell Gardens. So from the city manager's office, always thankful for the work that they do. It's a difficult job and it's very much appreciated.
And I just want to echo the words of my colleagues and the city manager. Being out there, making sure that things are following up to standard all across the city is not an easy job, and it's a balancing act because you don't want to be too strict. You don't want to, lay down the hammer too hard. And I commend you guys because I hardly ever hear any complaints from your side of the department or about your side of the department. So thank you so much for everything you do. We really appreciate your hard work. And if you guys don't mind coming up here, we're going to be taking a picture with you. Thank you. Okay, so up next, we do have a certificate of recognition for Active Sela and Pico Women's Bicycle Club. If you guys can do me a favor and please come up here so that I can read off this recognition. So hopefully hopefully this certificate that I'm gonna read is self-explanatory, but I'll be happy to elaborate why these young ladies are here today. They're amazing members of our communities that expand beyond Bell Gardens. But without spilling the beans even more, let me go ahead and read the certificate of recognition for Pico Women Bicycle Club. The Bell Gardens City Council is honored to recognize your meaningful contributions to advancing community health, safety, and empowerment through cycling. Since May 2025, your partnership with Bell Gardens Active Sela has led to the successful completion of 20 rides covering nearly 300 miles. Throughout the summer, your weekly rides along the Rio Hondo River Trail helped connect the communities of Bell Gardens and Pico Rivera, demonstrating how active transportation can unite neighborhoods with a shared sense of purpose. Collaborations like these are vital to creating welcoming spaces and fostering supportive environments, all while promoting a healthy lifestyle through the joy of cycling. We thank you for building stronger communities and community ties across city lines. And this is signed by me, the mayor, and the entire city council of the city of Bell Gardens. So thank you, Pico Women's Bicycle Club, for everything you do. And I just want to throw it in there right away, Active Sela, because you guys work together as a team. The Bell Gardens City Council is proud to recognize Active Sela for completing 20 rides and logging approximately 300 miles since 2025. Your dedication continues to inspire our community to embrace biking as a viable and respected mode of transportation. Through your efforts, you've helped improve public health, supported our local businesses, promoted a more sustainable environment, and have created more connected communities, welcoming all individuals. We thank you for being at the forefront of a great movement. Let's give them a round of applause, please. So I want to open it up if you guys want to let people know what you do, how we ended up, getting here and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I think just standing up here and with Gabby and just being woman in general and just being woman in the space of cycling, you don't really hear often where there's a bike club led by women. And that's one thing that this collaboration has brought, that the emphasis of women being outdoors, oftentimes just through societal, even stereotypes where often women you don't really see outside or want to, but they don't have that confidence. So it's, for me, it's this cycling Pico Women Bicycle Club is a space to empower women to find that joy of being outdoors, and also the safety part of it as well is a crucial point in our bike club. And just our main emphasis is the empowering part too. Empower everyone, and we do also open it up to everyone who shares that passion. So not just women, but it is woman focused. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the recognition for both Pico Women Bicycle Club and for my group Active Sela. And essentially I'm a group of one, and anyone who wants to ride with me. And that was the whole point of starting Active Selas, because I like to ride bicycles and I don't like to do it by myself. I'll do it by myself. There's a time and space for that, but there is something about group riding when you can get your community out on bicycles, when you're out on the street on your bike. You're not just passing through at 35 miles an hour and not noticing the small businesses that are around you, not noticing the neighborhood that you live in. And I meant to bring the quote, but I forgot, so I'll have to send it to you later. But there is a quote that goes something about, you don't really know what the world is until you learn the curves of the world on a bicycle. It's one thing to drive from point A to point B, and you have a destination to go to. When you're on a bike, you feel every bump, every pothole. You feel every little uphill on the road, and it's great for your body to know what your body can do. You were saying these young women, some of us are younger than others. I just had my 57th birthday last week, and I say that because there's no age limit to starting. If you would like to bike, if you like to ride a bike and you're an older person, I started when I was 45. So, that became a sort of a bike addiction for me, I guess. It was my mental health, it was my fitness, it was my social moment. So if you're into cycling or you want to ride with more women, check us out. We're on Instagram, Pico Women Bicycle Club and Active Cela. I am going to be moving to 2 Sunday rides a month, once every other Sunday. Our Tuesday night rides, it's a little bit dark, so I think people are getting scared of riding on Tuesday nights. So we'll put that on hiatus, but we just check out the page and check out the rides and join us. It's free to join. All bikes are welcome, and come out and ride. Thank you.
You guys can stay there for a second. I want to open it up to my colleagues if they have any comments.
First of all, I commend you both for creating such a space that empowers through cycling. And that's just quite an amazing achievement, aside from the 300 plus miles in a whole year. To put in perspective, that's about 30 trips to downtown LA and back. Or 30 trips in total, round trips. It's quite a lot.
About 3 months.
3 months. That's a lot. Again, congratulations, and I hope to join you both on cycling. You know, I'm missing a bike. I need to repair the spare tire, but hopefully I'll be able to join soon. Thank you.
Thank you for providing these type of spaces for the community. I know that I've seen your group out in Ford Park, gathering for your Tuesday night ride, seeing that you're changing it up, but being able to know that you're able to provide that for community. So thank you.
No, likewise, I to Mayor Pro Tem's point about a bike, I don't have a bike either, but I'd love to bike with y'all. One of the things that I remember growing up was I was part of Youth in Action with Easy Arts Communities for Environmental Justice out in Commerce, and we used to do these bike trips to the Gateway COG meeting, and we'd show up and we'd talk about how we didn't want the 710 expanding, and that was sort of my first exposure to really just getting on the bike and taking the LA River all the way down to Paramount. So I miss those days. It's been now 12 years, 11 years since I did that, but that was sort of the core, and it was done on a bike, right? So just reminiscing and just would really love to be a part of that. Thank you.
I'm just surprised that he did that 12 years ago. Like, were you like in like elementary or something?
No, graduated high school 10 years ago. So
He's one of our youngest here in Bell Garden, so I always tease him about that, but we're very proud of Jorge.
yo ya soy abuelito. Like,
That's what abuelito.
I'm not the youngest anymore. The young folks are on that side of the table. Yo ya estoy viejito
Okay,
acá.
okay.
And I'm talking about Councilwoman Guillen and Mayor Pro Tem de la Rosa. I got in when I was 23. Now I'm going to 29.
Because they're the youngest, they promised to ride with us. So
Oh, there it is.
hopefully they'll come through. But yes, I just want to say I appreciate what you did. It was a great experience. I met a lot of cool people, and like Gabby said, you really get to know your community, you get to know your roads and the world that's immediately around you by having that experience of riding a bike. I ride skateboard, so the little cracks and those are I feel them even more, but I won't get into that. I really do appreciate everything you guys did. So let's go ahead and take a picture, and thank you again for all of your collaboration efforts. Okay, up next, we're going to recognize Shadow Realm Collectibles. If you are here and you're part of the team, please come up to the microphone and we'll get started. So this certificate of recognition honoring Shadow Realm Collectibles, Flavio Sanchez, Eric Wandique, and Eddie Alvarado. The Bell Garden City Council is honored to recognize Shadow Realm Collectibles for your outstanding dedication, entrepreneurial spirit, and contribution to the local community. Your commitment to fostering community support, local hobbyists, and creating a positive gathering place exemplifies the best of a small business in our city. Congratulations on your 2 years of success, your continued community building, and contribution to our city's culture and economy. We wish you continued success and growth. Let's give them a round of applause, please. Flavio, would you like to say a few words?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you, Mayor Barcena. We're really proud to be part of the Bell Gardens community. We both grew up here. My business partner, Eric, went to Suva. I went to Laguna Nueva, which is now a swap meet. We sold there, Pokemon cards at the swap meet for like a year before we opened up our business. And we've just been part of the community, and we're just happy that we can continue to be part of the community and, just have a place where people can feel safe to, enjoy their hobby, play in tournaments, and just have fun in general. So thank you very much, Mayor Barcena and council members.
Thank you. Any words?
Sorry, just want to say thank you again for this opportunity to be recognized. For us, it was just our part was just creating that space for anyone to just come in and play, hang out. I think that's something that everyone's looks for. Trading cards was something that we only had available before at Toys R Us. So when that was gone, sad part of us. So we just wanted to add back to our community that we grew up in and give that space that we wanted as children. So thank you again for.
Of course, thank you guys for being part of our community. And I want to open it up to the council, and you have to confess if you're a Pokemon fan. So, that's sort of the requirement to speak.
Being a fan, my brother got me into trading actually. I grew up very much a tomboy because I was only with my brother. So thank you for creating such spaces for everyone. Everyone needs to feel a sense of belonging. So thank you. Thank you for that.
I'll go ahead and jump in on this and say that I still have my binder full with my Pokemon cards, and I'm just waiting until, when I have my son or my daughter to pass them the Pokemon cards that I've had now. And I also have Yu-Gi-Oh cards too. I really didn't understand the whole game and how exactly to, the stars at the top in the Yu-Gi-Oh card. I always thought that's how, you would just flip them over, and then whichever one had the most stars, that's how I would win, right? Clearly that's not how you play it. But it was fun, and Pokemon was a huge part of my life growing up. And still to this day, I mean, the whole Heart Gold and Soul Silver was like my passion. Like that was like my highlight of my childhood. And just I right there in Veterans Park and just getting with my cousins, and that was sort of what was the sort of highlight at that moment, and this is like early 2008, 2009 when those games were coming out, and now it's like everybody has like an emulator and you could just kind of play those. But I mean, back to your point about the cards, yeah, I'm glad that you guys have a business here in our city. I'm glad that you guys are in a prime location too, right off the 710 freeway, going down on Eastern. So just a lot of opportunity, right? A lot of opportunity when I think of the kids and the youth that are now so much stuck on their phones. I found out that there's cards that they can open a pack now within the game. And obviously Pokemon Go that happened 9 years ago, now going on 10 years next year, right? And how much that changed a lot of how folks kind of got folks to be more active when they were out playing Pokemon. So anyways, as you can see, I'm a fan of Pokemon. And I still to this day still think I am a water trainer. I'm gonna do that when I have like my daughter and my son one day in the future. I'm gonna do the whole thing where you put a fire in a grass and a water, and then you have the toddler gets to pick whichever kind they want. Anyway, I've seen that, so but hey, Squirtle all the way. Thank you.
Congratulations on taking the next step in your mission. From starting at Swap Meets, to now having a location dedicated just to that. That's amazing. Um, Very reminiscent the story that Jorge was mentioning. I used to get some Yu-Gi-Oh cards in El Swap Meet, right? And I remember one time I got a Red Eyes Black Dragon from Yu-Gi-Oh, and it was like a legend, right? A legendary card, and and my cousins would always bug me, be like, like it's not even real, and God knows if it was real or not. But I just looked up the value of it, and yeah, I hope that card is somewhere somewhere in good hands. But again, congratulations, and I'm very proud of your mission.
I didn't understand half the things that my colleagues are saying because I'm not into cards or into Pokemon, but I think being able to have those spaces, right, for people that do. And you brought some nostalgia by saying like you were only able to do this before in Toys R Us, right? And now that that place is gone, you now have created that for our community. And so it's businesses like yours that have that entrepreneurship, have that passion of being able to create that make things like this possible. So I wish you guys continued success here in Bell Garden.
Thank you all for your comments. And I just want to say, I was so happy to find out about your business because I had no clue. And I do want to make a point that I found out about the business on one of the rides, on one of the bike rides. So I hope this is just an example of like how much we're missing out when we don't connect with our neighbors, with the people around us. Like I said, they've been here for 2 years, and I'm a little bit of a nerd, so I would probably like notice a store like that. Like I like all that stuff. I'm not as into it as Jorge over here with Pika Pika and all that, but I do appreciate the art of collectibles and all those cool things that you guys do. And I want to learn more about what you do. You also engage the community with activities, and it's just a really cool shop. I really appreciate you guys being here, and I'm glad that we found out about you guys. So thank you, and anything we can do to help, we're here for you. All right? Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and take a picture now. Thanks. And now I'd like to ask two of our residents, Leonides Morales and Zenaida Pérez, to come up. ¿Puedo pedirles por favor al señor Leonides Morales y Zenaida Pérez que pasen para enfrente? O no tiene que venir si no es conveniente, pero si quiere puede. Buenas tardes, buenas tardes. Les vamos a dar un reconocimiento y como ya tienen la traducción, lo voy a decir en inglés para que los demás puedan entender también. This is a certificate of recognition honoring Zenaida Perez and Leonides Morales. The Bell Garden City Council proudly recognizes and honors you in the fruit vending family business whose steadfast service has enriched the lives of residents for more than 3 decades. Through your daily presence as a street vendor, you have provided not only fresh fruit and nourishing produce, but also a vital connection to community life, fostering trust, familiarity, and cultural vibrancy across our neighborhoods. Your enduring commitment exemplifies the values of hard work, family, perseverance, and public service. As thriving residents of Bell Gardens, you and your family have set an example through your labor. In recognition of your contribution to the health, spirit, and character of our city, we extend our deepest appreciation and gratitude for your 34 years of continuous service to our residents. This is signed by the entire City Council and myself, Marco Bárcena, the mayor, today on October 13, 2025. Ahora sí, si con mucho gusto quieren decir algunas palabras, aquí estamos para escucharlos.
Gracias por todo lo que nos ha dado. Esta ciudad nos dio
Thank you for everything you've given us. This city has given us, allowed us to be here over many years, and we are very proud of the connection we have with the community. Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone who is present. I'd like to cordially thank the entire City Council, the Chief of Police. We've never had any problems at all. And thank you, because we have worked very hard in any kind of weather, heat, cold, rain. We've always been faithful to our customers. And we will be there at Clara and Ira.
Gracias, señor Leo.
Thank you very much.
Señor Leo y señora Zenaida, ahora vamos a decir unas palabras de parte
We're,
del consejo.
all of us are going to say some words now.
No, pues primeramente de mi parte les quiero decir muchas gracias por estar aquí en nuestra comunidad. Se los agradecemos ahorita en estos tiempos tan turbulentes para nuestra
Thank you all
comunidad,
very
de los
much during this
vendedores ambulantes.
such
Quiero que
turbulent
sepan que
times
su
right
gobierno
now.
está para apoyarlos.
No.
Sé que tenemos una nueva panadería
I-
que está cerca
I know.
también de ustedes
Yeah.
allí en Clara de la Ira, ahí la
I
Golosa
know that
Bakery.
there's also
Son
the
nuevos
Golosa
buenos
Bakery
vecinos y de
at
nuevo,
Clara and Ira. And
estamos
so
para
we
apoyarlos
just
en lo que podamos
like to say
hacer.
once again, we're here to help you in any
Gracias.
way we can. Thank you very much.
buenos vecinos, nos llevamos mucho bien en
Thank you. We're all very good neighbors and we all get along really well. Thank you.
Por más de 3 décadas,
Over
sirviendo
3
en esta comunidad.
decades,
Muchas
you've
gracias
been
por
here in the
estar
community.
siempre y,
Thank you very much. We're
cualquier
very
cosa puede
grateful.
contar con todos nuestro
Anything you
apoyo.
need, you can count on
Estamos
our
para
support.
apoyarnos y muy pronto nos
We're
veremos
here to
ahí
support
en
you.
Clara y La Ira.
And we will see you soon at Clara and Ira. Thank you and congratulations.
Al igual, gracias por todo lo que han
I want to
aportado
thank you
en
for
todos los años
everything
que
that
se
you
nos
have
siga bendiciendo
contributed
con muchos
in
años
all of
más.
these years, and I hope that you continue to do that for many more years.
Cuando ella vivía nos apreciaba y la apreciábamos a ella.
Mrs. Chacon, when she was here, she appreciated us and we appreciated her. And now here we are with you all.
Muchas gracias y como usted dijo,
Thank
siempre
you very
estamos
much.
cada vez, frío, lluvia,
As you've said,
y siempre sé
cold
que
and
cuando
cold and
quiero
rain, you've
frutas o
always been there.
siempre paso por ahí.
Anytime I want fruit or anything, I go by your stand. So thank you so much.
Por esperarlos allá en la Clara la Ira.
Thank you. And we
Pues nada más, ¿qué me queda
await
decirles?
everyone
Nada
at
más
Clara and
lo
Ira.
mismo, que muchas
I mean, what
gracias,
else can I
los
say?
apreciamos,
The same
ustedes son
thing.
parte
Thank
de
you
nuestra
very much.
nuestra
We
comunidad
appreciate you. You are
y
part of
les
our
traen
community
felicidad a todos los residentes
and
y
you
eso ni con dinero
make
se compra,
all of our
eso es
residents happy. And
especial.
that is something really
So thank
special
you y
these
como ya
days.
están ahí,
So thank you. Since you're
vamos
there,
también a mezclar estos
we
reconocimientos
are
porque
going
también hoy es
to
el día
combine these
que honoramos a la gente
recognitions
indígena.
because this is also the
Entonces
day
me
that we
gustaría que se
recognize
quedaran ahí para también recibir
Indigenous people.
esta,
So I would
este
ask that you
reconocimiento
stay
para
there
las
to
personas
receive
indígenas
this
y
recognition
podemos
for
empezar
Indigenous peoples.
leyendo la
I'm
proclamación,
going to
la proclamación.
read the
In
proclamation.
honor of Indigenous Peoples Day. Whereas in 1977, the idea of Indigenous Peoples Day was first proposed by a delegation of Native nations to the United Nations sponsored International Conference on Discrimination Against Indigenous Populations in the Americas, and whereas the United States endorsed the United Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People on December 19, 2020. And whereas the City of Bell Gardens recognizes and deeply values the vast contributions made by Indigenous peoples to our community that has substantially shaped the character of our city and our region. And whereas Indigenous Peoples Day shall be used to reflect upon the ongoing struggles of Indigenous peoples in our country and to celebrate and honor their heritage, resiliency, and diverse culture. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Marco Bárcena, Mayor of the City of Bell Gardens, with the City Council, do hereby proclaim October 13th, 2025 as Indigenous Peoples Day and encourage all of you to join in the celebration and learn about the contributions and recognize the different cultures of the Indigenous peoples in our community and in our country, in our state, in our city of Bell Gardens. Proclaimed this 13th day of October 2025 and signed by the City Council and Mayor Marco Bárcena, which is myself. And wait, there's more. I want to make sure that I recognize Don Leo because he is going to delight us with a performance that he did. He's a trumpet player from Puebla, Mexico, and he took the time to record a video with us in which he's honoring Indigenous Peoples Day. So if we can have that video played, I'd really appreciate it.
Neno toca Leonidas Morales, Juan Ontlaca, Tepatlasco, Puebla, México. Nechilea, Nchelonce. Nesen tlaca de indígena. Arnin tonal, nostin tocnigua indígenas. Neki tlasocamatilisque, tocnigua indígenas de noche semanahuatl. Nostin tehua, chicatmer, huanicatcate. Y cantocultura de noche Semanáhuatl. Tlazocamati, Nica Bell Gardens, Ningüey, de Nica de Totlali de Bell Gardens. Tlazocamati, Leonidas Morales, Nechilian Chelonce. Tlazocamati.
Si tienen algunas palabras, algo que quieran decir.
Es únicamente agradecer la invitación a todo lo del Consejo Municipal, específicamente Bárcena, y pues, me siento orgulloso de haber tomado en cuenta y no hay más palabras. Todo esto, pues, muy agradecido y muy agradecido.
Señora, ¿le gustaría decir algo?
Pues gracias, Marcos. Te agradezco mucho por todo tu gente. Son buenas personas, policías, todo en la comunidad. Trabaja muy perfecta bien. Es de todo lo que les agradezco mucho. Y que sigan progresando más adelante a todos. Gracias.
Gracias. Unless there are any other comments, we can go ahead and take a picture. Anybody want to say anything? Yeah, okay. Okay, picture. Okay. Pueden pasar para acá, por enfrente. Vamos a tomarnos una foto con ustedes y les vamos a dar sus reconocimientos. Gracias. Okay, now we are going to open public participation for non-agenda items. Public participation is now open. City Clerk, please announce the instructions for public participation.
Thank you, Mayor. Members of the public will now have an opportunity to speak on items not listed on the agenda. Please state your name for the record. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes, subject to an overall 30-minute period unless announced otherwise. Callers wishing to speak may also do so at this time by dialing *9 from your phone, and when instructed, dial *6 to unmute yourself. Individuals joining through Zoom may request to speak by using the raise hand feature and select the unmute or microphone icon when instructed. We didn't receive any written comments or any public comment cards on non-agenda items.
Okay, thank you. Public participation on agenda items. City Clerk, please announce the instructions for public participation for items listed on the agenda. And for the record, I'm closing the non-agenda item comments.
Thank you, Mayor. Members of the public will now have an opportunity to speak on items listed on the agenda. Please state your name for the record. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. There is no one participating virtually at this time, and we didn't receive any written comments.
So I do have 2 comment cards here. And we're gonna get started with Margie Lopez.
Right here. I'm gonna leave your form here.
That's fine. Okay. Hi, some of you know me, I've met you, and George, I believe you were the first person that I voted for here in Bell Gardens, and this is Luca, and we love your dog park. We love what you've done with this city in 5 years, or I moved here in 2020, and my son, my adopted son, Jacob, who just left for the United States Navy, and is now stationed in Lemoore, California, and where he will be an electrical mate at the Naval Aviation Training Academy, and I thank God. I don't know if I'll be a resident of Bell Gardens for very much longer, but more will be determined based on my life. I think when I voted, I live behind the liquor store at BBB at Perry Road, and my address is 7119, right directly across the street from the Boys and Girls Club. The parade passes right in front of my house. You all put your signs there, and your behavior isn't always acceptable. But the candidate that stopped at my home and told me about who he was and gave me the best answer is who I voted for, because I didn't know anyone here. And I think what you've done is amazing, amazing. From 2020 up until current, and I've gotten a ticket from the little traffic guys, and and they rectified it immediately and were so kind when I took my dispute to them, because I have locks on my gates. I feed the homeless behind the liquor store if they look hungry and I have leftovers. I watch what they do, and everybody else does. I mean, come on now. And I was homeless with my adopted child for a long time, and my landlord is wonderful and amazing. And I'm sure he may or may not have been here before. He owns a lot of properties, and tenants can give landlords a hard time too. Anyway, the police, they can't take care of the issue that I'm here about because it's private property. I'm not here to get anyone in trouble or enforce any criminal laws that are going on. My dog is really illegal, and I'm not going to register him in this city till I know of where I'm going to live, because I have a 2-bedroom and my son got to go. He made it because the taggers last night that I confronted, and I usually don't, but I'm really mad. I'm really, really mad because, I had to have my son leave my house before he left, you know, video gaming and all, the Wi-Fi demons, I call them. And my boy is a good boy. And, you know, I live across the street from the Boys and Girls Club, and today people take their children there. And my son, you know, some of his parents grew up like that, like gang members, okay? And you know what? He got out. He got out. And who knows? But so I'm mad. And when they were tagging on the liquor store last night, and I said, knock it off. And the guy replied to me and he said, mind your own business. I mean, I'm knowing your big mouth Margie is gonna get you shot. But when those two little boys, a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old, because the guys now are promptly crossing the street. Of course they are, because the cops are gonna come and they just know it. I live right down this alley, you know? Anyway,
Madam Margie, I'm so sorry, but we can give you some more seconds if you want to finish.
you?
Yeah, thank you.
BBB Liquors, private property. They rent spots to anybody for money. There's been urine buckets, people live there, they don't. The guy blows his dirt to my house, but what pissed me off crazy is the homeless people's dogs, because my dog doesn't get out and he doesn't run around. And when dogs are in heat and they have homeless dogs, you guys need to seal that little gate, the walkway, to cut down your criminal element in this city. Because what happens with the people that they rent to, or the homeless, or the people they like, or whatever, you know, sometimes they have their dogs back there and they shouldn't. I've watched them get hit by a car, but it also needs to block the view from the people that live on that alley, because there's a lot of us, and it will eliminate the trash from when they dumpster dive, because it's furniture and all kinds of stuff. And you guys take care. They said they were gonna tell you. So I was surprised they.
Madam, you know what I will do for you? I'll have the chief write down your information and we can.
Today, and they
Okay.
said they were gonna handle it.
Perfect.
And they were gonna do that, and so.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate your comment. Thank you so much. And now up next, we have Eric Franklin.
Hello, good evening. I'm Eric Franklin, Executive Vice President with United Pacific Services. I'm here with Manager Tony Gomez. And we're here for 11.2 for the tree maintenance services contract. And, you know, we're a local business, local women-owned minority business, small business, union company here in city of Southgate. We're 2.5 miles away from you. And what I brought to bring your attention was that in your bid, you had a very strict 30-minute emergency call out. And from where we are, 2.5 miles away, not only can we respond in 30 minutes, but we can respond with the actual equipment to do the work. Respond with trucks, vehicles, bucket trucks, crane truck, whatever you needed, because our yard is just down the street. So I just want to bring that to your attention, and we're here to answer any questions you may have during the discussion. And that's all I have to say at this point. Anything from me, we're here available. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. If there's no objection by the members, I will close public participation. And now we're moving on to external committee updates. Does any member of the council have anything to report from their external committees?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and briefly report out. Last week we had the League of California Cities annual conference here in Long Beach at the convention center. I got to attend alongside Mayor Pro Tem de la Rosa and our community development director, Mr. Acosta. We got to take a tour of the expo. We got to ran into Bernard's. You know, that was a great conversation we had from the aquatic center. They told us they were going to be here tomorrow, so that's exciting. We went to a couple sessions. We had the assembly, the general assembly that happens towards the end. There was no resolution proposed. So I know that we were the appointed delegates to that. But overall, a great conference. And the next year is going to be in Sacramento. So, you know, definitely I'm going to encourage everybody to participate. This is the conference that has everybody, all the cities plus 450 plus cities across the state coming out, from cities that are bordering Oregon, Arizona, Nevada, to cities that are bordering the state of Mexico. So definitely want to encourage everybody to attend, and it's an overall great conference. So really appreciate the opportunity to attend. And then if Mayor Pro Tem De La Rosa wants to share anything, definitely pass it back to him.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Chavez. It was my first time attending the Cal Cities conference, and it was great having to have multiple conversations with Mr. Acosta and Jorge. Was showing me also the ins and outs of the conference, which was very insightful and very constructive. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much for your reports. And I will now move over to the consent calendar. The city manager's been waiting to give us his report. Please go ahead, city manager.
Thank you, Mayor Barcena.
Es el gerente municipal. Los miércoles 6 de la tarde, un estudio de artes en Parque Veterans. Otra cosa que tenemos los viernes es la venta de patio y de artes de 11 a 3:30 de la tarde en el Parque Veterans. Desde la última vez que se reunió el consejo, que fue hace 3 semanas porque hubo una semana extra, el 13 de octubre, el mercado de comestibles gratis, el segundo anual espectáculo de autos o de autos clásicos, un gran evento, muchas bandas buenas, muchos autos lindos. 8 de octubre, café con un policía, con el jefe Camacho. Jueves 9 de octubre, otro evento con la policía, una casa abierta de fe en lo azul. Luego tuvimos un taller de enseñanza sobre lo económico, las finanzas, uno de esos talleres que tenemos disponibles para los residentes. Quiero mencionar que están anunciando lluvia, grandes cantidades. Hay bolsas de arena gratis en nuestra yarda de obras públicas a las 7 de la mañana. Mañana, si alguien no logró llegar, y también las 24 horas en la estación de bomberos. Si alguien quiere recoger esas bolsas en caso de que tiene un lugar bajo donde entra el agua. Mañana va a ser a las 5:30 de la tarde la gran inauguración del centro acuático. Estamos pidiendo que la lluvia termine para las 2:30 de la tarde, más o menos. Y la piscina está como 82 grados, así que si hacen 65 o 75 grados afuera, la piscina se siente igual. El jefe, la próxima va a ser Coca-Cola y chocolate caliente este miércoles en el Pescador, este viernes en la venta de patio y de artes, también otra vez el mercado gratis de comestibles, frutas, verduras. Vengan con una bolsa. Y este fin de semana es el fin de semana de ventas de patio. El tiempo se ve muy bien después de mañana. No necesita permiso. Saque sus cosas que quiere vender este sábado y domingo. Y es el fin de semana de las ventas de patio. Y como sabrá, el Consejo se presentaron una demanda contra clubes de naipes como el Bicycle Club aquí, que puede rebajar los ingresos que recibimos de ese club. Esa demanda, el Tribunal Superior no lo dejó progresar, pero puede ser que apelen eso. Pero aparte de eso, la oficina de la Procuraduría del Estado también está pensando en implementar nuevos reglamentos. Este lunes, día 20, habrá una manifestación a las 11 en la oficina del procurador estatal, la oficina en Los Ángeles. También estamos pidiendo a residentes que firmen una petición en línea y empleados también para hacerle saber al procurador general que el efecto sobre Bell Garden sería grande y muy negativo en cuanto a nuestra capacidad de proporcionar servicios a los residentes. Tenemos una oportunidad linda, 25 de octubre, sábado, para residentes y no residentes, pero preferiblemente residentes para ir a Tanaka Farms en Irvine. Es una excursión muerto para familias, para niños, antes de Halloween. Los llevan en autobús, hay calabazas y laberinto de maíz y todo. Así que si no tienen nada planeado el 25 de octubre, apúntese o si conoce a alguien, eso va a crear recuerdos muy lindos para las familias, para los niños. Otra cosa que está en la agenda convenida esta noche, hay unos asuntos grandes que muestran la
We have a solicitation of bids for intersection improvements at Florence and Garfield and Eastern and Gage. That's about $400 million worth of improvements. There's a solicitation of bids for $4 million worth of project at the Eastern and Garfield Avenue intersection. So that's in the southern part of the city prior to entering into Southgate. So significant capital improvement into the roadway down there. We also on the consent calendar have an agreement for HVAC maintenance for our new aquatic center. We have a fitness room at the aquatic center. We have lifeguard rooms, locker rooms, offices. So there's an amendment to our HVAC equipment contract for those purposes. We also are accepting as complete a solar project that was done at Darwell Park to add lighting at nighttime to help keep the park safe for anybody that's using the parks at dusk or in the morning time. We also, keeping with the theme of parks, have a contract with Horizons Construction for $1 million worth of improvements at Marlowe Parks. About 900,000 of that is from a competitive county grant that the city was awarded about 3 years ago. And on parks, if anybody's been paying attention the last 2 to 3 years, there have been improvements at the Neighborhood Youth Center, at Hannon Park, at Asmus Park, at Veterans Park. There's obviously a new aquatic center. We have a new restroom coming to Ford Park, a new playground coming to Ford Park, a new restroom coming to Veterans Park by the ball field. So in about an 18-month time, there will be no park in the city of Bell Garden that's essentially been left untouched with brand new equipment or brand new facilities for residents to enjoy. And the final item that we have on the consent calendar is something that's fun, activities for residents. It's a contract for stage and sound production services for large events. So you'll be able to see the fruits of that contract on display at the Dia de los Muertos and the Halloween event, and also the tree lighting event that's coming up in the next few weeks. So with that, I thank you, Mayor Barcena.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager. Moving on to consent calendar, we will now move. Does any member of the council or successor agency wish to pull an item for separate discussion? Items 10.1 to 10.11. Okay. May I have a motion to approve items 10.1 to 10.11?
I move.
Second.
Okay, motion by Mayor Pro Tem and second by Councilmember. I'm drawing a blank right now. Councilmember Guillen, thank you so much. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? Okay. The consent calendar is approved. Okay, now discussion items 11.1 to 11.3. City Manager, would you please announce discussion item number 11.1?
Yes, thank you again, Mayor Barcena. This item is the local commission's appointment list and the staff's recommendation that the city council review the appointments list and by motion remove commissioners or make appointments to posted vacancies, please. Thank you, Mayor.
Does anyone need to appoint anyone to the commissions? Okay. In that case, City Manager, will you please announce discussion item number 11.2?
Yes, thank you again, Mayor Barcena. This item is a consideration of the approval of a contract services agreement with West Coast Arborist for citywide tree maintenance services. I'll turn it over to our Public Works Director, Bernie Iniguez, to provide a presentation, and staff is here and happy to answer any questions. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. O'Kelly. Good evening, Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council. I'll wait for the presentation. For background, the Public Works Department is responsible for the oversight and maintenance of the city's urban forests, which consists of over 4,200 trees citywide. The tree maintenance program encompasses a range of services, and these include grid pruning, removal and planting of trees, inventory system management, watering, and other tree-related services. Additionally, this also includes emergency tree trimming and as-needed tree removal services that are also part of our services. The city addresses its tree maintenance service needs through a contract services agreement, which is in a form approved by the city attorney. The agreement imposes various requirements on the contractor, and these include compliance with the scope of work, compliance with the insurance requirements, and the payment of prevailing wages that are established by the Department of Industrial Relations for the state. On August 12th, 2025, the city released a request for proposals for citywide tree maintenance services. On August 28th and again on August 30th, there was a mandatory pre-proposal meeting held at the Public Works Maintenance Yard. Only those proposals from firms that attended these mandatory meetings were considered responsive. During these meetings, the contractors were informed of the request for proposals and the contract requirements. On September 4th, we received 5 proposals from the firms that are listed here in alphabetical order. A panel consisting of public works staff then evaluated the proposals following the criteria that's included in the RFP. This included comprehension of the RFP for a maximum of 15 points, qualification of the proposers for a maximum of 45 points, the proposal cost for a maximum of 30 points, and finally references for a maximum of 10 points. During the evaluation process, it was determined that the proposal that was submitted by Great Scott Tree Care was non-responsive since it failed to attend one of the 2 mandatory pre-proposal meetings. On September 11th, the panel consisting of public works staff conducted interviews with all of the responsive proposers. This was to further assess their qualifications. The table below illustrates the rank and scores of those proposers after the interviews, and these are listed from the highest rank to the lowest rank. Also on the furthest right column, we see the proposed annual costs for each of these proposers. The annual contract services agreement cost would be $337,719, which would be split between 2 fiscal years. The current fiscal year budget includes $235,000 from the general fund to cover these services. An additional appropriation of $102,719 from the general fund would need to be programmed in the next fiscal year budget. The reason being is because the contract services agreement basically straddles 2 fiscal years. It is staff's recommendation that the City Council adopt the attached resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a contract services agreement with West Coast Arborist, Inc. in a form approved by the city attorney for citywide tree maintenance services. The agreement would be for a 3-year term with up to 2 one-year renewals for an annual amount not to exceed $337,719. That concludes my staff report, and I will be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions from my colleagues? Any discussion?
Couple questions. So we currently have West Coast Arborist. Can you tell me in the time that we've had contracted them, have there been any major issues in the sense of response time or taking care of the tree that's falling or branch that's falling that needs to be, taken care of in a timely manner?
There have not been any issues during my tenure that I'm aware of. And West Coast Arborist has performed their duties in accordance with the specifications in the contract.
Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, is there anyone that has a motion?
Motion to approve staff's recommendation.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilmember Guillen and a second by Dr. Francis de Leon Sanchez. All those in favor? I've been requested by legal to do a roll call, so let's go ahead and Madam City Clerk, if you can please do a roll call.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Members of the council and successor agency, Chavez.
Aye.
Councilwoman Guillen.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sanchez.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem de la Rosa.
Yes.
And Mayor Barsina.
Yes,
Motion passes 5-0.
thank you. Moving on to City Manager, will you please announce discussion item number 11.3?
Yes, thanks again, Mayor Barsina. This item is an update on the John Anson Ford Park Regional Aquatic Center project. As we've mentioned a couple times, we've been doing about quarterly updates to the council. We have our grand opening scheduled for tomorrow. There's been a lot of work that's been involved in wrapping up the construction portion of the project. And you'll see in this presentation that as that wraps up, we start to shift, or we've already started several months ago, shifting to the programmatic side of it. So with that, I will start with our Recreation Community Services Director, Liz Nava, who may turn some of it over to I'll start with our Public Works Director. He raised his hand, Bernie Iniguez, to start the presentation for the construction update. And then he'll turn it over to our Recreation Community Services Director, Liz Nava, for the programmatic side of things. Thank you, Mayor. Thanks, Bernie.
Thank you, Mr. Urquelin. Again, good evening, Honorable Mayor and members of the City Council. So we're gonna go ahead and start by illustrating the aerial conceptual that was developed by our design firm RJM, and this was prior to the beginning of the drafting of the plans and obviously the construction. So here's what it is supposed to look like. For background, on January 22nd, 2024, the City Council awarded a construction contract to Bernard's for a total amount of $26,334,000. On April 4th, 2024, the city issued a notice to proceed with construction to Bernard's. On July 5th, 2024, Bernard's completed demolition activities. And then finally, on July 8th, 2024, Bernard's began construction of the project. Since the last update that was provided in September, the following activities have been completed by Bernard's. Bernard's completed the installation of trees, shrubs, and landscaping, the installation of the monument sign letters and the backlighting, the striping of the east parking lot, the installation of the pool deck equipment. They completed the LA County Fire Department inspection, the LA County Health Department inspection, and the State Division of Occupational Safety and Health inspection. And finally, they also began their 90-day maintenance period for landscaping and irrigation. The Public Works Department and the Recreation and Community Services Department also completed the following. We procured and installed the fitness equipment in the fitness room, procured and installed the restroom accessories in both locker rooms, procured and installed the office furniture in the lobby and the 2 offices, and finally procured and installed the dedication plaques. The remaining construction activities are the following. The building permit final, which is actually estimated to be completed today. So hopefully when I go back to the office, that'll be completed. The completion of the punch list items, which is estimated by tomorrow, October 14th. the commissioning reports for the equipment and the mechanical room, miscellaneous adjustments, and finally, the site cleanup for delivery to the city. Here we see some of the progress photos for completed items. On the upper left, we have the monument sign showing the backlit. In the middle, we have the 50-meter competition pool demonstrating the pool lights. On the upper right, we have demonstration of completed landscaping, and this is behind the amphitheater. On the lower left, we have one of the restrooms with all of the accessories shown complete. In the lower center picture, we have the fitness equipment now in the fitness room. And on the lower right, we show the office furniture in the lobby area. And here, in contrast to the beginning aerial, we have the completed aerial photos, which is almost identical to that conceptual. So with that, I will go ahead and turn it over to Liz Nava, Director of Recreation and Community Services.
Thank you, Bernie. Good evening, Mayor, members of the City Council. They have a second one. I'm happy to go over with you all the Aquatic Center programming to expect as we open up our brand new facility. As Mike mentioned, we're having our grand opening tomorrow, but that's just our grand opening event. We will open the Aquatic Center for public use starting on Saturday, October 18th, this Saturday. And just to review what we will be providing the community as we open the doors, we'll have swim lessons, both Saturday swim lessons and weekday swim lessons, senior water aerobics, aqua aerobics, and the difference between those two classes are basically the senior class is geared towards the senior population, so gentle movements, and the aqua aerobics is a little more aggressive and intense workouts, and those are both for adults only. We have a lap swim program that will be held for adults only. And then, of course, we have our recreational swim where the kids and any member of the family can come and enjoy the activity pool and the slides. We have our fitness room, and that will be open to children 13 years and older, and of course, to adults and seniors. And then we will be allowing pool rentals for local swim teams and schools to have a place to practice, and we hope to bring a lot of the community in through that. Oops, sorry about that. So as we open, the hours of operation for the Aquatic Center is Monday through Thursday, and we'll open at 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. And then we'll close down for maintenance in the middle of the day, and then we'll reopen from noon to 8 p.m. And just so you can see, in the early morning hours, we'll have lap swim, senior aerobics, and the fitness room will be open. And then in the afternoon, we'll incorporate rec swim, lap swim, aqua aerobics, and the fitness room. On Fridays, it's a very similar schedule, except for we'll close a little bit earlier at 6 p.m. and we'll offer the same programs as Monday through Thursday. And then Saturday will be open from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We'll be providing swim lessons, a fitness room, rec swim, lap swim, and the fitness room in the afternoon, evening hours, and then we'll be closed on Sundays. Our fees are as follows. For swim lessons, resident fee is $35. That's 7 sessions that are 30 minutes long. And for non-residents, it's $45. However, just as a reminder, the city does receive an LA 84 grant, and that provides about 715 free swim lessons. And so the last 3 years, swim lessons have basically been free. So we do have a fee associated with it, but we also are really blessed to have a grant that pays for the swim lessons. Our senior aerobics is $1. Our aqua aerobics is $2 for adults and $1 for seniors. And the same fee schedule follows for our lap swim, our rec swim, and our fitness room access. They're daily drop-in rates. So someone can show up on the day of and pay the entrance fee and then have access to any of the programs that are happening at that time. And then for semi-private pool rentals, it's $100 an hour with a security deposit and a setup charge. So the staff hired a company to conduct a fee comparison that allows us to see how the city's fees compare to local cities and municipalities that offer similar aquatics programming. And so here's a chart that just shows you similar programs through the different cities, and then an average of all of these programs in all of these cities, so you can see where Bell Gardens falls on this chart. The swim lessons, these lessons are 30-minute sessions, just to give you a comparison. And so if you broke it down per class, we charge approximately $5 per class, which is pretty in the middle of what you see here. The city of Bellflower uses the YMCA, so they're a lot higher because they cover all their costs. But most cities, like the city of Bell Gardens, we don't have full cost recovery, so our costs are very low. Norwalk is just about $5. Southgate is $9, La Mirada is $12, and Commerce is $3. So you can see with senior aerobics, we're pretty unique because a lot of cities don't even offer it, and we're on the low end. Aqua aerobics, we're a little low, $2 for adults and $1 for seniors, and you can see $6, $4, and $5. Lap swim is pretty average, $2 for adults, $1 for seniors. Rec swim, the same thing. So we're hitting right below average, but not too far off the mark from what our local cities are also offering.
Liz, if you could go back to that slide just for a couple comments for the council, because I think, as I stated earlier, we've been focused on really getting this aquatic center built. And as we've shifted over to the programmatic side of it, getting lifeguards hired and coordinator hired to run the pool, we're starting to get into some of the more nitty-gritty operational aspects of the financial side of an aquatic center. So the total cost to run the aquatic center per year are about $2.7 million. Now, if you compare that to when the aquatic center was running 7 or 8 years ago, the aquatic center was only open 10 to 12 weeks. This would be more of a 48-week aquatic center. So right off the bat, 4 times as many weeks open, probably not as much use outside of those 10 to 12 weeks, just because the weather's so hot. There'll be a lot more people recreational swimming. Kids are out of school, more likely to go to the pool. But when we run the numbers, we've done some research, and so $2.7 million in the state of California, a well-funded aquatic center is generally seen as one that recovers about 20% of their costs. So for us, that would be approximately $540,000. When we look at the fees that were charged the last time the pool was open for that 10 to 12-week range, the pool recovery was about roughly $120,000, give or take. So if we probably can't really multiply it by 4 because there may not, again, be as much use in some of the